Good afternoon to everyone that's joined us. Thank you for being here. My name is Bethany Eigel. I'm the 4-H agent in Chesterfield County, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Virginia Virtual Farm to Table program. Today is our first in a series of educational programming that will highlight Virginia agriculture, community nutrition, and farm to table connections, and is brought to you by Virginia Cooperative Extension. VCE is an educational outreach program of Virginia's land-grant universities, Virginia Tech and Virginia State University. The purpose of the Virginia Virtual Farm to Table program is to highlight Virginia-grown produce and livestock that are raised on farms across the Commonwealth and demonstrate how to create a delicious and nutritious meal with a highlighted ingredient. Virginia Cooperative Extension's educational programs are delivered through a network of faculty at these two universities, 108 county and city offices, 11 agricultural research and extension centers, and 6 4-H educational centers, I encourage all of you to participate in your local Virginia Cooperative Extension programs to learn more if you have not already. Today, we'll be learning about strawberry production on a Highland County farm and how to use them in a delicious recipe for strawberry spinach salad. Highland County 4-H agent Carrie Spinach and her husband have operated a fresh produce operation called Churchill Produce since 2011, which includes an acre of you-pick strawberries. Today, Carrie will show us around their strawberry patch and explain how to grow and manage strawberry plants and what it takes to get them ready for harvest. Following Carrie, we will have a presentation from Becky Gartner, who serves as the Family and Consumer Sciences agent in Culpeper, Fauquier, and Rappahannock counties. She enjoys teaching food safety, food preservation, and nutrition topics, and she attended Virginia Tech and has worked in extension, food manufacturing, and the regulatory field as a health inspector. Today, Becky is sharing an easy recipe for strawberry spinach salad that is so delicious you'll want to make it soon and make it often. It's a perfect summer dish. Charlotte County 4-H Extension Agent Darla Marks is our Q&A monitor for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into our Q&A box and we'll try to address as many of those as possible. Note that there is also a chat box, but that may not be monitored. So please make sure that you use the Q&A box for questions that you would like to be answered. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter, Carrie.
All right, thank you so much, Bethany. Hope everybody can hear. Again, I am Miss Carrie Spinach. I am a 4-H agent here in Highland County and Bath County, and I am also the co-owner of Churchill Produce. So we're going to give you a first-hand look at strawberry production on our particular farm and how to manage and grow some strawberries. Next slide. So here again, this is my introduction. I do have a bachelor's degree from Ferrum College. I have a master's degree from Virginia Tech. On our farm, my husband Michael and I, we have 2 sons. We also handle a little bit of cattle and some poultry as well. But today we're going to focus on our strawberry patch and show you around it. Next slide. So here are a couple facts, strawberries in general. Strawberries aren't actually berries, they're accessory fruits. The seeds are on the outside of the actual fruit, and there should be about 200 seeds per fruit. You can reproduce strawberries from seeds, but they mostly reproduce from runners. And if you're into production strawberry growing, you actually buy the runners or the starts from a greenhouse that you put in. Or you also manage a matted row type operation where you deal with a lot of runners. So Americans actually eat an average of 3.4 pounds of strawberries per year. I'll say personally that's probably a few more pounds at my house. These are actually perennial plants. Once you plant a strawberry plant through runners and through production in that manner, they come back year to year. So you don't actually have to replant strawberries every year. They are perennial. They are actually in the rose family because they're very aromatic. If you've ever been in a you-pick strawberry patch during peak season, it's a wonderful smell. It's just really delightful to actually just go there and just be in the field. Even if you don't like them, they smell good. In 2017, just under 300 farms produced just under 400 acres of produce. So what that kind of tells you is farmers out there are growing strawberries, but it might not be their sole income. They probably have a few acres of something else, and strawberries are part of their rotation. The average strawberry plant produces 1.2 pounds of fruit. 1 acre of strawberries contains over 5,000 plants. And according to USDA and our VDAC stats, 79% of farms in Virginia use a mix of U-pick and pre-pick markets for their operation. Next slide. Here's just a little graph of how strawberry grows. If you're in production strawberries, you'll get a start, which is closer to the size of the second plant from the left. As they grow, they leaf out a little more, produce a couple of more roots and stems and leaves. By the time they get to the bloom, as you can see on the plant that has the blooms on it, it has a runner to its right side. This is how a strawberry stretches itself out and produces more plants in the future. From these runners, they can actually be detached from the mother plant and taken elsewhere if you wish to put them in another row or another space. And then finally, the picture of the ripe berries on the right mother plant and the runner growing along with it. Next slide. Here's some pictures from our actual farm, just kind of in stages of how things go. In the first picture, we have a box truck that we deliver the strawberry plants home from the greenhouse. They're actually in several layers in that truck on top of each other there. They're pretty hardy plants, so they can ride like that till they get home to your crop. When you're trying to bring home close to 6,000 plants for an acre of planting, you kind of got to stack them on each other to get them home. The second picture are our black plastic rows. This is what we plant our strawberries on. It helps do a lot of management with weed control as well as irrigation and fertilizer. In the third picture, those were our transplanted new plants in December of 2019. These are the plants that we're going to pick from this season. As you can see, some of them already have runners because they were transplanted in September, and over the time between September to December, they created their own little runner starts to start reproducing themselves. So those are some pretty healthy plants there in December, and they had a nice little coating of frost on them the day we took that picture. In number 4, this is an activity we just completed here this week. This is an example of row covers for strawberries. Not everybody has to use row covers, but in our particular area, we have a high elevation and a very cool winter. So we need to actually give the strawberries some help. So we cover them with row covers to keep them a little extra warm. Next slide. So let's take a look around the farm. We've got a little video for you, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hello, this is Carrie Spinach. I'm here at Churchill Produce, and this is the first virtual farm-to-table tour for you guys, and I would like to show you around my strawberry patch today. Alright folks, well, welcome again to Churchill Produce. If you can notice in the background, our namesake is actually a little chapel right beside our very first plot of ground that we started to grow vegetables and produce in, and that is McKendree United Methodist Church. That is actually where my husband and I go to church along with our family. There's probably a congregation size of about 10 or 12 people in that little church, and we really enjoy our little church here. And that's how we decided to name our farm. We started this farm in the growing season of 2011. If you can tell, we're in a very mountainous area where we live. We live in Highland County. Our population is just over 2,200 people. And we have the highest mean elevation in Virginia, which means we're one of the higher points that stays really high in elevation throughout our entire county. So what you're seeing here today, I'm going to talk to you first about how we manage our strawberry patch. Strawberries were one of the first things we decided to grow. We went to a couple of strawberry conferences that were hosted by Virginia Cooperative Extension and the Virginia Strawberry Associations and North Carolina Strawberry Associations. They put really good educational programs on. So we decided to go there. We were encouraged by a fellow grower to give it a shot. That's what started us here in strawberries. What you're looking at, the way we manage our 1 acre patch here is through black plastic mulch. So as you can see, our berries are double rowed on a single row of black plastic. While it might look like a lot of stuff is dead here, what you're seeing is rye. We put rye between the rows so it manages soil erosion. During the winter, it's actually green, like some of this rye over here is still green. We haven't sprayed that or packed it down yet. So it looks like that throughout the winter, and it does two things for us. It keeps the soil in place, and it also helps with wind protection. berry patch, they might not have to have covers because their temperature stays warm enough in the winter. Here we're below freezing a lot and we have snow, so we need a little extra help keeping the plants just a few degrees warmer in the wintertime. Going back to the frost situation, we'll get a little closer to the plants in a second, but we did have a lot of damage. This is not a prime strawberry patch. If you follow any of the other strawberry patches on Facebook or any other farms that do U-picks, they're already in season. They're 3 or 4 weeks ahead of us already, and we've experienced a lot of damage this year. So I will say these are not the healthiest of plants, but I'll be an honest farmer with you. It's been a tough year, but I'll show you what I got, and hopefully you can take away a few things from this tour. So into our black plastic, you're probably asking, well, how do we water stuff? Right here we have a blue irrigation line. It actually runs through all of our black plastic. We have all of our produce on black plastic here in this particular patch. And with every single little row that we have, there is a drip line inside each row. This one's unhooked right now, but it will hook into a pipe like this, and this pipe is buried in the black plastic, and it has little holes on the underside of it where the water drips out. So as long as we maintain a pressure of water in this blue pipe, and we have a nozzle here, we can turn it on and off, so we can actually manage which rows actually get water, and whenever we need to, whether something might be too dry or too wet, we can manage that one row at a time, which makes it really efficient for us. We also use this blue line, which is fed from a stream. I will pan out here. This is the rest of our patch where we'll have vegetables, but you'll get to tour those on other farms later. Way back in the mountains back here where the sun's coming up, we have a spring, and the spring way back there feeds this farm with gravity-fed water. It's really cool. So we don't have a pump or anything to bring our water here. It all comes down actually through some pipelines all the way down here to this patch, and we use that for our irrigation. Plants needing a nutrient, one row or 6 rows, we can actually medicate or treat or feed each row individually if we had to. Most of the time we feed plants by their variety or by their species every time they need a feeding, which is probably once a week after we kick off the season. So I've got some boxes here. If you come to a U-pick operation, you will probably be given a busket. It's not a bucket, it's not a basket, it's a busket. This holds 4 quarts or 5